Yep.
Are you sure you want to do this?
I think we should.
Or are we going to say dear or not dear?
It's only dear.
Yeah, dear. Okay, here we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear long marriage. Wow. Happy birthday to you.
Sorry, I ran out.
Come on, give me that harmony note. Wow. Ow.
ran
And many
out.
more.
Oh, happy birthday, long haul marriage.
So, yes, it's a long haul marriage. You said long haul. We got the
Sorry.
deer right. We missed
I
that.
know. It's just that's my pet name. That's
But
my
we're
nickname.
not going to do it over.
No.
We're going to keep it. Happy
That's
birthday,
good.
long haul marriage. So
This week-
at the listening of this, well, people listen different times, but
Yeah.
So on Thursday, October 16th makes 1 year we've been in
Wow.
business. Yeah, I got our
That's
501c3 status, and man,
crazy.
this year has flown by.
It has.
Good night. Yeah, it has.
It has flown by. I can't
mean,
believe
good
it.
night. And that first quarter was a blur because we were in hell. But we made it through that, and man, we did it. I just remember we just kept saying in those early days, man, we did it, and we're doing it, kind of thing. But
Yeah.
wow, it flew
did.
this 1 year.
I would
And
say it's harder than we ever expected,
Yeah.
and it's better than we ever expected.
yeah.
And
yeah.
now we're through the hard part. Not that there aren't still challenges, and there will be challenges, in the future. But gosh, yeah, that first part was tough, and we've made
You're
it through
working
that.
on the ministry and not in the ministry, or you're doing both really. But that whole you're working on the business, not in the business.
Yeah.
We were always just seeing couples, but just having to do all the things to start the business all at once, as everybody knows who's in business. And doing that was a challenge, and yeah, so much of the system stuff is now set up, and we have some automation going, and we have some things that are out there, and of course you have to supply the weekly content, but from podcasts to the QuickBooks, your accounting to your website, and all the stuff. But I think for me. Because we are getting to work in the ministry more than anything. What has been my I guess just the proudest accomplishment is that we've seen just under 500 couples in 1 year. That has been just phenomenal. Thank you, God, for sending us the people who need help, and they trust us. And it's an honor to just enter their mess and walk alongside them with their stuff. And, I think the other thing for me is because I did so much of this solo for, the last 2 decades of my life, almost 3 really, but is the fact that I get to do this with you and how we're actually growing in that. And man, I just get to see and witness you, watch you, listen to you, help these couples. And man, you've just got so much wisdom, and the way we can kind of bounce off each other. And yeah, I love it.
I was just telling somebody the other day that when we meet with couples, it's, for those of you who have not met with us, you don't know this, but we don't sit together on the same screen. So we're in the same house, and we're basically next door to each other, separated by a restroom, but we meet in separate rooms on separate Zoom screens because that just works better for us.
Yeah.
And so it's so cool when we meet with a couple and then we're finished and I hear your doors open up and my door opens up and we meet each other in the hallway, usually to go get a drink or go to the bathroom or something before our next appointment, and how we usually just high five or hug in the
it's like, good job, babe.
in the hallway and just, sometimes we don't have a lot of time in between appointments to download the whole thing, about kind of talking about how it went or where we want to move forward with those people or with that couple or whatever. But it's just a simple high five or hug and say, man, that was awesome.
And sometimes it's so heavy and you just feel like you want to stop and really literally say a prayer right then for that couple. And other times it's high five, like, wow, that was awesome. Yeah. You just feel like there was so much hope infused into that relationship.
Yes.
Just in that one.
Move the needle a little bit forward. And I think we're so passionate and excited excited about it because we remember that feeling
Sure.
of being so desperate and needing help and feeling like there was no hope. There was no, how in the world could you ever move forward from where we were? And then I remember when we began to feel a little bit of change, a little bit of movement, a little bit of hope. And then you just get that ball rolling in the right direction. And you're like, oh, wow, this can be different. We don't have to live the rest of our lives like the way we were living them. And so when we can help couples see that or individuals see that, it's just the best feeling.
And what I love is when people compare what they feel like they've gotten from us and meeting with us, compare that to or contrast it with some therapy that they've done in the past. And again, nothing against therapy at all, but we hear from many couples, because we're not licensed therapists. We're doing, marriage coaching that is non-licensed, and, we're not, LPCs or anything. And
LMNOPs,
LMFTs. And so, because we're not those people. And, just what they get and what they say they get from us that they didn't get, from someone else. So we take different approaches than a lot of people are used to. And some people got no help at all. And they say they've been meeting with, done couples work in the past, whatever kind of work. And what they love about us, they say, is just some themes that we hear is like, wow, we just felt so not judged. We just felt so free to be authentic and be vulnerable because you guys got vulnerable and you were authentic and you weren't coming from this position, this, hierarchy of being above. You're like, man, we're with you and we've been with you and we're there and we can help you because of what we've slogged through, And so I love that. I just feel such solidarity with people in the meeting with them. You're not crazy and you're not alone. You are not the only ones going through this. So it's just, when I say honor, it's just an honor that they trust us. And then once they get through that initial, anxiety of what this is going to look like or be like, I just think it's really cool.
I love the thought of, the name that Marilyn, hey to Marilyn, our dear friend, bringing Long Haul Life into the equation. She's like, man, y'all should be called Long Haul Life because it's so much more than marriage. And I really do love that because I've always felt that. I mean, I meet with women who are single, who are divorced, who are, not even at the age where they would be ready for marriage. You meet with all sorts of men. And so it really is so much more than talking to people about marriage. So I really love that aspect too. So hey to Marilyn for Long Haul Life.
Good call.
So that's been fun too.
Yeah, I think for me, this huge uptick in, if you want to quantify it as, or just talk about like a demographic, the 18 to 26-year-old, let's say, and especially, males and females, but just with this kind of transition phase of their life. And man, a lot of people are struggling with we all are, with the state of the world right now. And especially in that phase, you come out of college, or maybe you didn't go to college, and you're just, you're establishing that independence as a young adult. You're coming out from underneath maybe your family system or the way your parents did things. And you want to be this adult, this individual, and start your own life, quote unquote. And many people are just floating out there feeling disconnected. They're feeling lost. They're feeling confused. They're struggling for purpose and for meaning. There's this existential, I think more than ever, this lack of this existential crisis, lack of meaning and lack of purpose. Like what am I supposed to do, and who am I doing it for? What's my why? And so I was thinking about this earlier. It's just so rewarding to do something you're passionate about. We've talked before. If you do something that you're good at, okay, and let's say I hate to talk about it in terms of just a job. So let's take the monetizing something out of it, because I've heard, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Well, that's just assuming you're doing it for work, and you've got to make money to live and all that. But let's just take the monetary thing away. I've just said, if you're passionate about something, right, and you're not good at it, well, that's frustrating if you're trying to do it. But if you're good at something, you're really competent, and you've got this skill, man, I can do it in my sleep, I'm good. But you have no passion, that's boring. So there's that boring on one side and frustrated on the other side. So if you can find that intersection of where you're really good and competent at something and you're passionate, like, do that. And whether you make money at it or not, if you can do that and find those things, you'll have purpose, you'll have meaning, and you'll be fulfilled. And maybe fulfillment is different than meaning. I get that. And people want to debate that. Smarter people than me in philosophy will debate that. But I think it's really important for us to find that. And what's really unfortunate and sad, I talk to people all the time, and they just don't know. Like, when I ask them that question, like, man, if I cut you open, what do you bleed? What's your why? What's your purpose? How have you found meaning in your life? And even if you don't believe that it comes to you from God, let's just say you've got to create it, and so what's in you, which I believe God put that in you. Can you find it? Can you access it? And some people just can't. And so I love helping people discover that, or help them get on the path to discovering that. Because I just think we're going to struggle if we don't have that purpose and meaning in our life. And so I was taking that a step further. I was thinking about this as I was watching. I got caught in an algorithmic loop the other day on people making, hey, I'm making $10,000 a month. You want to make $100,000 a month? All these huge numbers per month. And in doing digital marketing, TikTok shop, TikTok affiliate marketing, blah 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 blah. And with all this huge time in our history right now, I'm sorry, babe, you're distracting me like crazy.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to. Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all
good. I'm listening.
It's all
Keep
good.
going.
I'll cut that out, I guess. But are you good?
I'm good. I was counting something to share in a minute.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go. So what are we talking about? You don't know.
You said something about algorithm.
Okay. So yeah. So when you're talking about purpose and meaning, a lot of people are, they don't like their job, right? And they're searching for something else, right? And so if you're not careful, you get into this, hey, I just want to make a bunch of money. And with faceless YouTube ads and AI and ChatGPT, with all that, we're in this time in history, unprecedented, where we have all these tools where, you hear these young kids getting on, man, I'm making $50,000 a month, and it's easy. You can too. And everybody's got their guide to do that. And hear me, I'm not knocking faceless YouTube ads. I'm not knocking ChatGPT and Grok. I'm not knocking, digital marketing. We have actually gotten into some of those things to help supplement a long haul marriage, because we need to sometimes supplement what we're doing. Everybody needs a side hustle, right? But if you're just figuring something out that somebody else did and getting their guide to wealth, and you're trying to copy that just to make money, if you just take that, okay, now to extend your life out, now you're making the $50,000 a month. And so now you can travel and work from anywhere. And hey, we like to travel. I love to travel. But after a while, you realize, okay, I've got money in my bank account. I'm sleeping in a bed, although it's maybe in Ireland or Dubai or whatever, and I'm eating food. It's another country, but it's just food. And after a while, it's like, okay, how many beaches can I lay on? How much golf can I play? How much food can I eat? How many times can I sleep? Have I found meaning? So if it's just this thing that this utility, this thing you found just to make money, and I know I'm maybe overstating the obvious that a lot of people figured out money is not the answer, and money cannot make you happy. Yes, it can pay bills and can be great, and it can fund businesses, but this crisis of meaning has been so much and so heavy. And I think the like I said, the algorithms, but social media is creating a lot of that because of what we're seeing. We're seeing a bunch of information, and we're not. Again, we were not supposed to ever process that much information, but that information doesn't give us meaning, right? And sometimes it's just showing us things that we're overwhelmed with and we're anxious about and we're depressed about. And so two things. One is we're seeing a lot of people who are struggling with that, and I think just talking about it can help. But two, I am thankful, back to happy birthday, long haul marriage. I'm just very, very thankful that the crisis that we had in our marriage and that we had after losing Corbin, the grief, the marriage stuff, God has used that in our life to create a purpose in us and to create meaning, because we were suffering and we see people suffering and we want to suffer less and we want to help people suffer less. So for me, the part of human existence is suffering. It's a huge part. And to help people suffer less and give them hope and give them meaning and help give them fulfillment. It all comes from connecting to God, right? But so many people don't know how to do that. So anyway, all that to say, and I'm glad I got back on track, I'm just very, very thankful for the why that we have to get up every day and to see those texts and see those emails, people reaching out for help.
Yes, it's really been amazing just coming out of the woodwork. And so thank you for those of you who are listening that either see us as, you're maybe one of our clients, or you have referred someone to us. That happens all the time now. And man, I'm so grateful for that. That just nothing means more that someone would trust us enough to refer a friend or someone in their family to us. Those of you, what I think is cool too, we've seen so many, and I need to add some of these numbers up, but premarital couples that we've seen that, and a lot of what you just shared about meaning and purpose and trying to figure that out earlier than later in life. We're able to share that with many of our premarital couples because it's about two individuals making a choice to step into this covenant. And so trying to help them each figure that out, and then what is that going to look like when they bring that together? But going back to what I was just saying about referrals, the number of people who have purchased a premarital hitting the road package for someone that they love. So it might be their kids, it might be their grandkids, it may be a niece or a nephew or a friend. And so I think that's such a cool idea. That's not even something that we were like, hey, this is something people could, purchase for their loved ones.
They're gifting their family or friends saying, hey, I believe in these guys. I'd love for you to see them. And so let me help you and give you this.
I think that's been such a really cool thing too. And then being able to officiate quite a few weddings this year has been, a really beautiful thing too. And I was going to share, was there something else you want to share
just
about
around weddings while we're there, just and not counting the ones we did in the spring or the summer this year, just from October 3rd through Thanksgiving, we're doing 7 weddings and officiating 7 weddings. And for me, it's not just, it's not just the premarital counseling, which I love to sit with couples with you and we do that. We get to know them. And then when we officiate the wedding, it's so much more personal because we know them. And we try to make it personal, either way. But even just the officiating the wedding, instead of just yada, yada, you may think, oh, you've done a couple 100 of these things, you just put it on autopilot. I just love being in the moment and meeting, that couple where they are and being present in the moment that night as I officiate the wedding, and then meeting their families and their extended families, their friends, and what we get to represent up there, the things we say. It's just different than your typical wedding, know. And we've gotten a lot of compliments when we officiate weddings, and I don't think it's about us at all. It's not about some brilliant script or ceremony that we've written. I think it's just that personal touch of, man, This is real. It's hard. But we're not cynical about it. It's like, man, it can be the most joyful thing on the planet, but you got to get it right, and you got to define a couple things correctly,
And we already have several weddings for
next year.
Almost 5 now. We've got another text this morning for another wedding coming up, but 5 for next year booked. So that's it, man, they just keep rolling in.
Yeah.
And speaking of weddings, this last year had 2 in our backyard. So we have a small
Nice little venue.
micro wedding space called Aurora Meadow that was not on our bingo card when we started Long Haul Marriage. Like, hey, let's do this in the third quarter. I mean, that was not anything that we had planned. But what's been amazing to me is we have stepped into it and just done the very next thing that we feel like, okay, I feel like this was an idea that came to me. And, if I just believe as we pray and we keep ourselves open, God's going to continue to just pour in creativity, ideas, resources, people. And so that was, you happen to say to a friend, well, we've got a backyard, ha, ha, ha. And y'all joked about it. And then he was like, wait a second, are you serious?
Yeah.
And one thing led to another for sweet Emily and Caleb. And then another wedding right behind that. And it just, has kind of become just a possibility and something that we're open to hosting. And so I just think it's cool.
Beautiful.
That wasn't
depending on, so many variables, the neighbors, and we have the possibility of rain
weather.
or wind or, but yeah, man, it's both of them have been just perfect. I mean, perfect and beautiful. So yeah.
Okay. And I want to say, this is a shout out to hey to Brian Hackney. One thing this year that has been, that has blown me away is how you have put together a really incredible podcast. So if you are listening right now while you're walking on the treadmill, driving in your car, you're maybe going out for a run, whatever you're doing, you're folding laundry or whatever, Brian figured this whole dang thing out, and it was not easy. So I've heard over and over and over, like, how do y'all, like, it sounds good, like a crisp, like good, like almost like for real.
Yeah.
Like y'all are for real.
Like, that's kind of legit.
We are for real, but it's all because you did all of it's not like you're some, I don't know what that person's called, some tech person that does podcast setups for a living.
It's called Under 20.
But you just researched and figured it out and made it happen. And it wasn't easy. I mean, it sucked sometimes trying to figure out what chords and what we needed, the equipment, and making it sound right, and it didn't record right, whatever, So there have been definitely like a learning curve and moments of challenge, but you have figured it out. Well, and so what I wanted to bring up about that is, so in this year we've done, I guess this is our 41st episode.
Sweet.
We, as the way that you have us set up with Spreaker, you can go in and look at all the data, but we are in 39 states in the U.S., and we are in 20 countries around the world.
Yeah.
So listen to some of these. Maybe I won't read them all, but Norway, UK, Australia, Canada, United Arab Emirates, how do you say that? Emirates. I forgot to say it. India, Mexico, Italy, France, Cayman Islands, Sweden, Finland, Argentina, Malta, Portugal, Egypt, Lithuania, Philippines, Costa Rica, and South Africa. Okay, I did read them all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy to me.
Yeah. And then in how many states in the U.S.?
39.
Oh, you said that?
39.
Isn't that how many books in the Old Testament? 27 in the New, 39 in the Old?
Well, how about that? But also, let me just throw this in. If you're listening and you know someone in one of these unlistened to states, we need Rhode Island, Vermont, Maine, New Hampshire, Montana, North Dakota, Iowa, Mississippi, West Virginia, Delaware, and Alaska.
So how many? 8?
I think there were
states that in the U.S. we haven't touched
11.
11.
We need
Okay.
11 more states in the U.S.
So
So if
send
you
it
know
to
any
a
of this.
friend, send it to a family member. And of course, the lion's share in the U.S., Texas, and aren't like Oklahoma and Tennessee. Are those the top three?
Yeah,
I think. Yeah. So, one thing I would love, and I guess, some people, we don't know them and they like to hop on and listen, just like I'm not going to go call, Dana Carvey and David Spade when I listen to Fly on the Wall, and, probably wouldn't be able to get a hold of Jason Bateman or Will Arnett if I wanted to, listen to Smartless. But we would love it if you guys would email us or comment even on, if you're on Apple, if you're on Spotify, just YouTube, wherever you listen, just comment. We would love to get more comments going.
Yes,
So that'd be fun.
comment. And if you feel like, man, I have got something I want to share, like a story that needs to be told, something that you feel like you're just bubbling over with,
Yeah.
we'd love to have you as a guest.
As a
on the
guest and
podcast.
a topic you want to hear us discuss.
Yes.
And you do not want to be on a podcast. You're hell would freeze over before you'd ever do that. But you want us to talk about something, let us know. We would
Yeah.
love to hit that topic for sure.
Yeah. But just the podcast world is crazy how we could sit here in our little office in Aurora, Texas, and record this, send it out, and it can go literally across the world.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. And that it would be relevant.
Yeah, and I want
Enough
to,
where people would keep
because
listening?
we do have several guests lined up for 2026, or even later this year. I would just want you guys to hear that, some interviews that are coming. Also, one of our board members, and I'm not going to mention any names, but his initials are Blake Mabry. He reached out, and after
Hey,
he
hey
and
to
Adrena,
Blake.
hey Blake and Adrena, after they talked, they said, "Man, we need the roadcast to get a little more messy." And that was, and I hear them, man. And wow, that was born. I was like, hey, go back and listen to episode 2.
I feel like we're so messy.
No. No, but there's a lot of this positive and where we are now,
Yes,
and
yeah,
gratefulness
yeah.
and thankfulness, and, write your partner a love letter and how we do in the vision meeting. And it's all ooey gooey. It's like, gross. Y'all shut up, and how
Get a
about you
room.
live in the real world? And,
Yeah.
we are at the empty nesters phase, and
Yeah.
we're a different phase of our marriage and have worked through a lot of things. But it came from a place of, Adrena is teaching and, stuff she's seeing at school every day.
Yeah.
I get it. And so there's been some intentionality, some things that we haven't hit, like totally on purpose, because we just did not want to give in to this, those keyword searches that people are all and just take it down, kind of the clickbait or just the sensational or just the negative kind of rabbit holes. However, we have listened to that feedback, and we're already discussing, kind of our plans, for 2026 and where we want this podcast to go. So if you need more on, man, what about infidelity and your spouse cheating? What about sexual dysfunction in marriage? Or when you're not, your husband's addicted to porn, or when you don't feel like having sex, or you feel like the libido of one spouse is different than the other. Or what about when you're just bickering all the time? What about when you feel like you've fallen out of love, or one is invested and the other one's not? How about emotional disconnection? Some of those things, or when you're fighting because of one of your brain dead teens, and it's just costing a lot in your marriage. How about when, alcohol's become a problem in your marriage for one or the other, or for both of you? We hear you, we get it. And, we talk about that all the time. As a matter of fact, I've always told Jamie, because of the confidentiality of what we do, and sorry, I just shifted to talking to the listener. I usually just try to talk to you.
Do it.
But
do it.
Yeah, it's hard to share some of the mostly like 85, 90% of what we're talking about with couples, because even though obviously we wouldn't mention names and we would keep it generic as far as that, but the more specific you get about some of those issues, the more a listener could hear and go, oh my gosh, they're talking about us, because it sounds so personal when you're hitting on their stuff. So, it's a challenge. I just wanted to say that out loud. We hear you, we get you. And there's probably going to be more of that, but I've told you, babe. So now I'm talking back to you. It would be so cool if somehow we could have these, couples like you see on, the HBO or the Showtime or whatever specials, where we're doing our coaching with the couples and people can watch that and listen in, if we got the couple's permission, obviously, because it would be so impactful. I still want to do the old, radio call-in show. It could be, real-time call-in podcast. That's just where I think I'm the best personally, is just fielding questions and kind of off the cuff and just answering on my feet, because I've just seen and heard so much from couples for so many years, and we've seen it so many times.
Which I think is so cool, because I think so many people would run the other direction from that. Like, no, I need some preparation time. Like, give me the questions beforehand so I can, and you're like, no, I don't want it like that. I want it to be completely raw and authentic and like on the, like, just right there as it's happening. I
it's
think
funny, when you type a prompt into ChatGPT and like within a second it's so spitting quick, out all this stuff. I feel like I'm not ChatGPT as far as don't hear me saying that, but I feel like that's kind of how I roll. I just love, because like before they even finish their sentence, like, yep, seen that, heard that. And I just can't wait to share what we've learned.
And I think too, I think that's what happens like every single time we meet. Primarily we do virtual appointments, but we do have quite a few people who want to come meet in person. But no matter if it's on the screen or if it's in person, someone's going to ask you something, and like in that moment to be able to offer them something. And what I think too is cool is you do have a lot, and we do have a lot of wisdom and ideas and hope and resources to offer people, just because when you've seen it over and over and over again. But I think also the extreme value add that it is to be able to, on the screen or in person, to just sit with a person and not give them an answer, like, boom, I have an answer at the tip of my fingertips, but be able to sit with them and go, man, I feel this with you. And you may not have anything really to offer them other than your witness, just sitting there with them in that moment. And I feel like that's enough.
Yeah.
Now, there usually is something else that we can add. So I think we bring to the table the witness that we sit with people in. It's never just, jump straight into anecdotal and here's your
You're saying
ABC.
Witness, right?
With your witness. Not, it sounds like you've
got a list like and you're saying witness.
Witness, your witness. Yeah. So I think that is something really, I don't know. I measure a lot with my heart, and I feel like there's a lot that we have to offer with just sitting with a person or with a couple and letting them express wherever they are, how that makes them feel, where they are in that moment. And we just sit with them and empathize and listen and show compassion for and validate and normalize. And then, yes, if we can bring something else to the moment, we absolutely do. But I love too that what you always say is people usually are looking not for solutions, but solidarity. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we have gotten to experience a lot of solidarity in our first year at Long Haul Marriage.
Yeah.
Love it.
So what do you see? We've talked about a membership model, some subscription stuff. What do you see? And by the way, a lot of people listen to this when it's released on October 14th and on October 15th, Wednesday. If you're local and you're hearing this podcast in time, we still have some spots available for our workshop that's coming up at Justin Coffee Co. called Seasons of Us. And so you're hearing this on the 14th. That will be tomorrow. So yeah, look that up. And you can find information about that at Justin Coffee Co.
Yeah, they can look at Justin Coffee.
Yeah. And so, but what are some things on the radar for 2026? And do we want to release one of the huge cats out of the bag today?
Wow.
I know. I mean,
that's up to you.
I really think
if you feel like,
people are still listening.
They're still listening. They're still with us.
So you first.
I do think it's exciting. So one of the things that we've talked about is the number of people that we're able to meet with right now. As more and more people come in, I can see that you and I will be the bottleneck. We only have so much time or so much energy in our day or in our week. And so we've had to kind of rise above that and say, okay, so let's get out in front of it. When we get to the point where we, can't meet with as many couples as are coming in individually. I think one thing that is going to be super helpful is to create resources for people where we can put something out there.
Yeah, content that lives out there.
And other and you can access it without it just being, I have to meet with Brian or Jamie or Brian and Jamie.
Right.
And so in 2026, you'll hear more about this soon, but kind of a membership model where people can monthly have access to resources that we create that I believe will bring great value, that will help them individually in their lives and help with their marriages. So whether that be, digital things that we create, whether it's a video or whether it's some other kind of a digital resource. I am excited about the possibility for 2026 to also include like a group kind of session. I don't know if I should call it like a session, but a group where we can kind of share with each other, and you don't have to share, but you can. But I think there is great value, Walmart. There is great value in sharing as a group, because the things that we see over and over and over, there are so many similar issues in individuals and in couples. And so I think to have people together in a group, like if we did a workshop or we did a group Zoom or whatever, I think there's a lot of value that can come from that as well.
Yeah, those shared experiences. And some people like that, and we're not singled out. We're not the only ones. They can kind of remain anonymous. You could actually, if we're doing it online Zoom, they could be behind a screen, without even their faces shown, just listening in. So for some people, that's actually very appealing. And then other people say, well, it's not the one-on-one that we need. Okay, well, there's time and place for that. If you just want that specific one-on-one, but man, in the group setting, there's so much. And again, just the feeling once you start hearing from other couples, oh, y'all too? Y'all too? Just takes that first one being brave and kind of, asking the question that and it's not even, we wouldn't be putting anyone on the spot. You don't have to share anything. But yeah, so that's going to be an interesting addition to what we're doing.
I think something else that I'm personally very excited about in 2026, I am wanting to do a women's retreat. So ladies,
sweet,
be listening for that.
You do those so well.
That's just, it's been on my heart for a long time. I really miss that. And so I'll be probably looking at the spring to do something like that. So maybe shoot me a text or an email or however you get in touch with me,
Yeah.
and let me know if you're interested, and I'll put you on my list. But you'll definitely hear more about
Back
that.
to the group thing. When,
Yes.
Just another little plug for that. Whether it's, I said before, we're not LPCs or LMFTs. We're not licensed therapists. We have certifications in Prepare and Enrich. We're certified marriage mediators through XO. We're certified mental health coaches through the American Association of Christian Counselors. But a lot of people don't care about but a lot of people don't care about that. They just care about the product, who it is that they're meeting with, and what kind of help that they get. But one of the things that I've learned through the years at the AACC, and the last few years, especially listening to the Dr. Tim Jennings and the Kurt Thompsons of the world, is that so many people, even in the therapeutic community, are going to more group therapy models, because when they say, so when you sit down as an individual and you share with one person, so if I sit down with you, Jamie, and I share some deep, dark, concerns, my anxiety, my depression, some issues, some secrets, whatever it is. When I share with one person, they say your amygdala calms, your cortisol decreases, your blood pressure decreases, so your heart rate slows and your breathing slows. So many things happen really good in your body, according to scientists, from autonomic nervous, system being in the fight, flight, or freeze to this parasympathetic response. But they say what happens in your body physiologically when you share with one person exponentially increases when you share with a lot of people. So it's that, man, I'm fully known and fully loved. These people aren't jumping me. They're not, again, the converse to that feeling of just love and acceptance and warmth by that community, right? That group is that, that public, stoning, or being the person that people are all looking down and jeering, and that ostracizing outcast, that's our fear, right? But when you can get in that community where it's okay not to be okay, and people are all around you and you're one of them, man, they're saying that what they're finding is scientifically, physiologically, you're exponentially healing in that setting over the one-on-one. So I'm looking forward to exploring that.
Yeah. And, just how Aurora Meadow came up this year, the micro wedding space in our backyard. I'm open. And I think that's our prayer all the time is, God, would you just continue to open doors and we'll walk through them. Close doors if that's not the way we're supposed to go, because we have all these ideas. We could be chasing rabbits all day long. So it's, God, give us the wisdom, give us discernment, give us guidance as we step forward into whatever door you open next for us and for Long Haul Marriage. And so, man, we step forward in hopeful anticipation, excited about where we're going to go in this year 2 of Long Haul Marriage.
Yeah. Well, listen, I know we're about to wrap it up here, but I'm probably going to put in the liner notes today to fast forward to 42 minutes and 22 seconds if you want to hear the big surprise. But I think, you know what? I'm going to let the cat out of the bag because it's on our birthday party.
Okay, do it. Do it.
So several weeks ago, you've heard me, and I mentioned it several times, working on this project. Well, I have written a book, and the inspiration for the book is my wife, Jamie. And so, babe, this book is called A Testament to My Wife, A Light for the Lost, Confused Soul. And years ago, I heard about Paul Young William P. Young writing The Shack. And when he wrote it, he was getting all kind of backlash from the Christian community because of some licenses he took with certain things in theology. And anyway, he said, "Hey, don't come at me. I'd never professed to be a theologian, or an author, And he said, I wrote this for my kids." And that stuck with me. And I knew when I heard him say that, I thought, I'm going to write a book. And it just kept growing and growing and growing in me until I just couldn't ignore it. And I thought, now is the time. I want to write a book inspired by you and by your life and what I've witnessed firsthand. And I say it in the foreword, but there's nothing that has helped me believe in a God that inhabits people more than seeing your life and seeing the Christ in you and the Holy Spirit displayed in you. And it was totally inspired, like this thing. It was just downloaded, and I couldn't write fast enough, and it just flowed. And so once I started writing, the floodgates opened, and it's been such a joy to write this book, inspired by you and the Christ in you. It's like I can't wait. So I wrote it for Chandler, Christian, and Carson, and for now, Emily, and for Ryan, and for Sarah, and for Ruru, Max, Georgia, and Charlotte May, and counting. So I wrote it for my kids and grandkids, but when I wrote it, I just realized, man, more people need to read this book. More people need to know what I've seen. And of course, if they know you, if you know, you know. But it was, like I said, it was a joy to write, and I just can't wait to share it with more people. And I think what has come out is a huge lesson and guide and light for people who just find themselves lost in how to be a woman, how to be a partner, how to be a wife, how to be married, how to live a life, a selfless, sacrificial life. So for men and women, I mean, the relationship stuff that started coming out, the marriage stuff, the grief stuff, writing about your loss, and not just with Corbin, but with, family members. And there was just so much. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to sharing that. Here's what I would like, because you listeners literally are hearing it before anyone. We have not promoted this at all, and we will be promoting it soon. But I would love for you to drop in the comments, or just email us, Brian@longhaulmarriage.org or Jamie@longhaulmarriage.org. Just if you are interested in receiving a copy of that book, because I would love for you guys to be able to get some pre-book launch copies of this thing. And so, I wanted to say this, not just the product or what has come out, just the process. I've never enjoyed a process more than coming in and writing about you. And man, if you ever want to back up the concept that we've talked about, how gratitude can be the antidote for suffering. And man, if you ever find yourself bothered or irritated or annoyed at your spouse, we've always said, hey, you can wake up and list the 5 things you love about them, or the 5 things that annoy you, because they're both there. And what you focus on, that's what you'll see. And if you're grateful and you think about that and you express that gratitude, how, man, that's all you see. That's what has happened for me over this process. And it's just made me, appreciate you even more. So there you have it, folks.
Well, I can't wait to read it. I haven't read it yet, y'all.
Nope.
I have not read it. So
coming soon.
I have cried tears as Brian has. He comes into the office, and I feel like it's just like inspired, because you just, your fingers are just firing off on that keyboard as quick as you can type.
Yeah.
And so I'm actually, I know that sounds so weird and kind of self-serving, like I want to read a book about me, but I truly do, because it's an honor to receive that and to be able to put that out into the world. And so I'm very excited.
A testament to my wife, A Light for the Lost, Confused Soul, coming soon to a bookstore near you, to Amazon, KDP near you.
Yeah.
So all right, guys, we here's to 2026 and beyond. Happy birthday, Long Haul Marriage. Give me a little cheers.